Hey guys, Connor here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the B&W Patriot Fifth-Wheel Hitch. So if you've towed a fifth wheel trailer before, I'm sure you're familiar with the B&W brand. They are a high quality hitch manufacturer that offers a lifetime warranty, and they're made right here in the USA. Therefore, you know you're getting a quality, well-made product. So the Patriot is one of my personal favorite fifth wheel hitches. It has some really great features that help it stand apart from the competition. One of the things I really like about this fifth wheel hitch is the jaw design. So we have 3/4 inch thick dual jaws here. Now essentially what this does is allows us to get a very tight grip on our kingpin. This is going to allow our trailer to be held much more securely. We're not going to have nearly as much bouncing around and rattling. Therefore, we're going to get a much smoother and safer ride. So another great feature about the Patriot is that we have this cam action handle here that B&W uses in all their fifth wheel hitches. Now this cam action handle is really a great design because unlike most other fifth wheel hitch manufacturers and hitches, it allows us to uncouple our trailer on unlevel ground. So normally if our trailer is a little bit cockeyed in regards to our truck here, it's going to be super hard to engage the release handle. We're going to have to drive and find a more level surface so we can unhook. That's not going to be the case here with the Patriot due to this cam action handle. It's going to make disengaging the handle and allow us for uncoupling our trailer no matter how level the ground is. It's super easy to use as well. We simply pull the pin out, then we can release the jaws and then drive off. So another thing I really like that B&W does with this Patriot here, we're not all able to lift the hitch in and out of the truck bed frequently or in one piece. So we're not going to have that issue here with the Patriot because the hitch head can actually be removed from the base. And this is really going to cut down on the amount of weight we have to lift each time to get our hitch in and out of the truck bed. All we do to have to remove the head is we'll simply pull up on the two release handles here, and then we'll just pull it straight out of place. Just like that. It's super easy. And we can just simply set it back into place when we're ready to tow again, and it should automatically lock into place. So lastly, in regards to the head here, we mentioned being able to uncouple on uneven terrain due to the cam action handle. We're also going to be able to couple the trailer on uneven terrain. It's because we have this pivoting head here, which you can see tilts back and forth. That's going to allow us to get a nice level surface here, no matter what kind of surface a trailer is parked on, with the skid plate of our hitch and our kingpin. So the Patriot is made entirely of steel. It's also going to have this nice gray powder coated finish, which just looks really nice. It's also going to match the B&W custom installation kit if that's the kit you chose for. However, it does mount to industry standard rails, so you don't have to use the B&W base rails. You can use any other brand such as Reese or Kurt as well. So something that B&W does with the Patriot here that I'm not aware of is going to be present on any other fifth wheel hitch, and that's the adjustability of it. So we have quite a few adjustments we can make in regards to the position of this hitch head. We can adjust it so we can increase turning clearance, or we can adjust it so it sits more center with the rear axle for a smoother ride. We can also adjust it up and down in accordance to what the hitch head height setting we need to tow our trailer level. So the particular Patriot we have here is going to be rated for 18K, and it has a fixed base. There's also some other configurations of this hitch here, such as the model rated for 16K, and there's also a couple models that are offered with the slider base for short bed trucks as well. So in regards to installation, it's definitely super simple, something you guys can do at home by yourselves. Now granted, we will have to install base rails in our truck prior to installing the fifth wheel hitch. We actually have a video of installing these B&W base rails on this particular truck if you'd like to check that out. But once those are in place, everything's pretty much dropped in. We're going to have a pin here securing it on either side, and then we're going to have a few bolts which secure the head to the pivot arms to the base. But that's pretty much it. So the first step of our installation here, we're going to get our fifth wheel hitch base in front of us along with our two pivot arms. Now what these pivot arms do is they essentially allow us to attach the head to the base of our fifth wheel here. So one thing I want to point out here before we get started is you're going to see several sets of adjustment holes on the inside of either side of our base here. So the reason we have all of these different adjustment holes here is because this hitch is going to be super adaptable to our needs. We can install these pivot arms in these adjustment holes here in a number of different ways. Now there's a nice little diagram in your instructions that really breaks down into detail what each of these positions allow for, but essentially we're going to be able to position the head so that it either sits in the center here or it gives us a little bit more turning clearance depending on which of these sets of holes we use. We can also adjust the height up and down to make sure our trailer toes level. But again, this is really best outlined in the diagram in our instructions, so make sure you give that a close look over before we set the pivot arms into position. You may also need to measure your trailer so you know which height setting you're going to be using. Again, there'll be some instructions in there how to measure your trailer so we can get the correct height for our hitch head. So now that we've decided which is the correct position for our pivot arms, we can go ahead and attach them. In order to do this, we're going to take one of our bolts here. We're actually going to be passing it through this little oval opening here on the side plate of our hitch. On the other side, we're going to take a lock washer and then one of our nuts to secure it. Once we get one in place to hold the pivot arms, I found the easiest thing to do is to actually set the fifth wheel hitch up on its side. It gives us a little bit more access. Now we're going to take two 19mm sockets. We're going to snug it down before we torque it. And now that we have our pivot arms installed, we can go ahead and pick our hitch assembly up and set it into the rails. Now we can secure the base to the rails here using our hitch pins and clips that come with our kit here. We're going to take the straight end here, we're going to feed it through that oblong hole so we can come out on the other side and secure it with our clip. We'll repeat that process on all four sides. So the next thing we need to do is we need to assemble our leveling kit. We're going to have this spring here. We're going to notice one end is going to be different. We have this outward portion here. That's going to line up with our clip like so. We'll go ahead and take our bolt, stick it through there, and then we'll have our lock nut which gets secured on the back. We'll go ahead and tighten these down using a 7/16 inch wrench. Now we can go ahead and install our leveling kit here on our pivot arm. So in order to do this, we need to take a quick measurement. From the bottom of the bushing to the top of our spring, we should have about 1/2 inch. So once we have that in the correct position, we can go ahead and hammer it on. So now we can go ahead and install our handle here using the provided hardware. We have some carriage bolts with some square holes up top, and then two nuts to secure it underneath. We'll go ahead and tighten these up with a 7/16 inch socket. So now before we set our hitch head into position onto the pivot arms, we need to go ahead and lubricate these bushings here with some lithium grease. So now we can pick our hitch head up and set it into position. So in summary, the B&W Patriot, it's an excellent fifth wheel hitch options. Again, one of my personal favorites. It's definitely one of the higher end hitches on the market. I'm sure if you're familiar with B&W, you've heard of this hitch and you know it's a quality, well-made option. And that'll do it today for our look and installation of the B&W Patriot Fifth Wheel Hitch.